Hello? Right, we're back for another version of B2B Rocks, our LinkedIn stream slash Twitch stream. Always fun and interesting to do. Looking forward to today's conversation on generative AI. I'm going to be meeting with the CEO of Aive, but hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I have a lot of questions for him about AI. Did a lot of research this week on AI. Also researched his tool as well. Hopefully my sound is okay today. Hey, not sure. Oh, looks like our guest is already here. Hold on. Let me
Hello.
switch. Hello, let me bring you in here. Hold on a second. Uh, uh, Page. Da-da. Oh, that's the one I want. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Oh, great. Looks like we got you on here. Olivier, thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Good. So this week, as I should have done, I kind of spent some time looking at your company, Aive. Can you start by telling us a little bit about your company? How long have you guys been around? Oh, for some reason I lost
Okay,
my
I
sound
just
with you.
adjust my sound because I'm a beginner at Twitch. So now I can hear you. It's okay. Fine.
Okay, great. So anyhow, once again, can you tell us a little bit about your company? How long have you been around? Where did the idea come from?
Oh yeah. The idea about Aive is very simple. So I'm one of the co-founder of Aive, and the idea it comes from an anecdote. So I'm an entrepreneur since 20 years. It's my third startup. The startup before I co-founded was Tids.com, the global leader in video advertising. And for the short stories, for the anecdote, the idea come from a pain point as a professional for video. So with all my teams, in my creation team, because at Aive at Tids we were 300 people at this moment. 6 years ago, and we produce thousands, hundreds of video weekly and monthly, and it was very repetitive. So it comes from here that okay, is there any solution to help us to automate some part of the video production? And the answer was no, nothing. So we were on 2016, and so on 2017. I had this same problem but bigger again, and my creative team continued to create. It was very important, and there was nothing. So the anecdote is it start from here and say, okay, I will invent my own solution. So because I'm a creative guy and entrepreneur, so I invent the ideal solution. So I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engineer. Tell me, okay, what should be the best technology to create to automate video production. This moment, I look around. I see that the artificial intelligence with machine learning and deep learning have great progresses, and so I think that okay, in 5 or 7 years, I'm sure that AI will be able to generate video from scratch and will help as a copilot to automate video production, declination, reformat, summarization at scale and a very qualitative way. So it comes from here, from this
Mhm.
vision. And after I meet again my co-founder, he's an engineer, and after we meet amazing business angels to have the cash to hire dozens of engineers. After we work hard, very hard, on multiple years to create Aive, which is right now live. and available for every enterprise.
Yeah, I think to have people on the show, I should start negotiating a discount. I can get access to these things. I took a look at your tool this week, and it's really interesting. Um, it's interesting because I use Grammarly quite a bit to write, and so I'm a marketer and I'm a writer, and Grammarly has changed how I write. It's made me a much better writer, much stronger writer. I no longer make a lot of mistakes that I used to make as I see them because the correction's always coming on so quickly. It's improved my style, and it allows me to adapt my tone and for different types of content I want to write. And I've also done a lot of video work in the past, and one of the things I noticed about Aive as I was looking through it is like so much of the pain, which is like making sure you're paying attention to like the little branding details, for example, or the different formats. Like sometimes you just have to issue a video in 3 or 4 different formats, or even making like a little 30-second social media cut. You guys have automated all that.
Yeah, the pain is very strong there, and it's a very repetitive way. How we see this program is 5 years ago, there was 5, 6 social networks with
Oh,
everyone the same video format. And right now, there is dozens, 20, 30 social networks, which each one has their own video format and video experience. You have to see YouTube now, there is a YouTube short, other format.
oh,
So from your creator, you create your video for YouTube, for Instagram, for TikTok, you have to adapt it for all experience, all type of people. So it can be different formats and can be different summarization, but it's not just do a summarization, it's to have a montage that will fit to the TikTok requirement, Snap
mhm.
requirement, etc. So we automate all of it. So very easy. You say, okay, I want a video for this format. You have the result in the instant. You can edit everything without having to open again Premiere Pro, etc. And you want summarization for TikTok. You click, you have the result. You can change everything. So you can save endless time. And because the AI have no preconception, it can really think out of the box. It can give you a new suggestion, new creative solution. So in the instant, it give you clearly it's a kind of augmented creativity. It's superpower we give to the creator and the enterprise with our solution.
Yeah. That was my impression of it, how it worked, and that seems similar a little bit to Grammarly, how Grammarly works, which it unlocks my creativity. It doesn't restrict it. So and I don't know how many of you have done video work out there, but there's 2 things about video. It's tedious. 3 things. It's tedious. Historically, it's been very technical. So we're moving away from tools like Adobe Premiere, but historically, Adobe Premiere is a bear get to use. And so it's and then the other thing is that it's very time consuming. Whenever you go to produce the video, if you see the smallest little mistake, then you have to like re export the video, and it's just very time consuming. So that the any tools to speed this up is greatly helpful.
Yeah, it's very time consuming, but with Premiere Pro, After Effects, you have a lot of effects. They have you can do any very fine tuning, very important detail. You can do everything with Premiere Pro. And with
Yes.
Aive, we will never have all the features of Premiere. So
Yeah.
that's why when you generated your video in the instant with Aive, you are able to export it to Premiere Pro with a file, the XML file that give you all the montage you have with Aive, but done in the instant. For example, you are a filmmaker, you have a documentary of 10 minutes, you want it in square format, with the logo stick in the corner, with a smart resize for each shot and scene. You want to generate the subtitle, etc., etc. You do it in 5 seconds, you export it, you put it in Premiere Pro, and you finish your job if you need to finish. with more stuff. So that's it. Sometimes with Aive you have perfect results. You have nothing to do more, and
Hmm.
sometimes depending your need, you can do some fine tuning directly on Aive because you can
Hmm.
edit everything. Or if you want a very complex detail, you jump on Premiere Pro. So
Okay.
easy.
Yeah, I love Premiere Pro, no problem. But if I can avoid it and use another tool and do it faster, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
do
the
you
code.
guys have?
There is for the another anecdote. There is some global creative agency. I won't take the name. That
Yeah,
think that okay with Aive we will be able to stop using Premiere Pro and After Effects and use only Aive for all the cut down, the variation, the reformat, etc. etc. It's a
yeah.
great statement. So I hope for you, Steve, that we will stop to use Premiere Pro maybe, but not too much because Adobe won't be happy in this case.
Yeah, they're doing okay. We're not going to worry about them too much. Um, but we can see that technology is changing their market. I mean, Canva came out, and I think Canva's in the process of adding AI to their product offerings too. And Canva has kind of revolutionized the market of creatives and has really changed how to do it. It's democratized it. It's made it a lot easier to do creative layout and all different types of formats. And so it's interesting to see. One of the things I was evaluating while I looked at your tool and when I looked at Aive is I couldn't see how it would destroy jobs. And this is one of the criticisms of AI is that it can potentially have a role in destroying jobs. But it's a really powerful tool. It's a tool that solves a really important problem, a really challenging, a resource uh, intensive problem that a lot of organizations have, creating video for whatever they're doing. Um, but I was thinking about it. If we adopted something like this internally at the organizations I work, B2B Rocks and Advisor, it would just reduce the amount of time we spend focusing on that and let us focus more on customer facing activities, which is really what we want to focus on anyhow.
Yeah, it's a very important point about if the AI will steal our jobs. So
Yeah.
there is no universal answer because the creative in the creative industry and creative needs, there is a lot of things: photo,
Oh.
video, audio, audiovisual, all together, sketch, drawing, everything. Then for some jobs, it will be really complex if you are not very strong. I think about, for example, about drawing. So
Hmm.
now everybody can draw with prompt.
Hmm.
But if you look about the music, yes, you can replicate perfectly, but there is still really a difference with the strong soul of artist, and
Hmm.
there is clearly a difference between a sound invented by artists and generated by technology because technology replicate and anticipate the next tendencies for the user. So it's perfect replicate, but right now that's not true creativity. But it can be open to another talk about where is creativity when it starts because sometime if you hide the machine and you say okay is the result was done by a human or creative, it
Hmm.
can't say exactly if it's a robot or human. So we win, but the most important is about the emotion. And in the video industry it's really more complex because there is two things I will say. First, about create the main video. So I talk about enterprise, movie, TV. So it's a really complex movie. So we still need creators, creative agencies, high talented people for decades, or I think forever,
Hmm.
because find true ID, it's very difficult,
Hmm.
and that's the point. And we can use AI technology to go faster, to iterate ideas, etc. But for the true creativity, there is still a long time of opportunity for human. I think forever, because technology will be always as a copilot for the creator. But
Mm.
for the other part about the post production, I mean, create variation, suggestion, adapt video. Right now, for a global brand, for example, or for a global creator that will add to adapt its video for hundreds of formats, it's a very repetitive and
Yeah.
uncreative job. It needs a little of creativity, of course, but really you will have nobody that will say, okay, I really like to do 200 of reformat and summarization. I'm loving with it. Nobody wants it. It's too complex, too boring. I mean, so for it, yes, it will change some industries. So it's part of the innovation that replace too old processes that can be replaced by new tool. So it exists since thousands, hundreds, and thousands of years. So new
Mhm.
tools used by human to arrive better to its target. So depending on your job, but in the video industries, with the video and audio together, there is it's really not easy. So that's why on our side we won't replace all the creators. No, it's a solution for the creators, for the agencies, but also for professional which are not creative people. I mean, people in marketing, social content, industries that use video daily in their big business and with their team, but they are not able to use Premiere Pro After Effects. Right now, they can do something new with Aive. They can edit, change, create your video, and adapt all the audio with AI. It's instant, and that's true new and good tool for the non-creative people.
Now, I think what's interesting about AI is I kind of relate this a little bit back to the Industrial Revolution. And so we saw these machines coming on board, and for example, like things for harvesting wheat. And a lot of people thought like that was going to destroy jobs by harvesting wheat. And now we see that like the quality of the flour that we have and the cost of the flour is historically less expensive than ever. I think that one interesting thing about AI is that it affects white collar people a little bit more. So I wonder if that's not part of the panic at all. And I think there's also just resistance. I mean, I see this as just another tool that we're going to be used in a lot of different domains, a lot of different industries. But I wonder if there's just a little bit of resistance as well as to using a new thing. But it's hard to say. One thing I wasn't clear about while I was looking at it is, do you guys have access, or is that under your what you do? Do you have access to stock images as well using Ive?
No, right now we are not in the creation. We are
Okay,
focused on the post
just the
production.
production side.
Yeah, so you have your master video.
Okay,
From this 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 2 hour video, you
okay.
want to create the Russian stuff. We start from here, but with A, we are really deep and large ambition. So
Hmm.
yes, in the future, you will be able to create your video. For example, you will be able to send all your rush of your video. So right now with Aive, you can do smart AI search and derush of your video. For example, I want all the shots with close shot of people with outdoor scenery, mostly in green colorimetry. We have the shot in the instant, and we say, okay, in the next time, very soon, we'll release it. These kind of features, you're able to mix different kind of video, and so it will be part of the creation. So, and it's very easy to see that all the generative AI tools that are operating right now can help us to create broadly. Yeah, I mean that, for example, you have your rush, you mix it thanks to the AI, and
Hmm.
after about the music, you will say, okay, generate for me a music
Hmm.
based on the content. That's
Hmm.
something we haven't at Aive, but it's something one day we integrate because our goal is to have to give to user all-in-one solution for audio and video content easily.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um, I worked on a book trailer for a client, and I had to take their book, 500 pages, and boil it down to 12 slides that we used to do a trailer, a video trailer. I would love that. Took hours, literally close to hundreds of hours to get to that point. And so, if there was an AI thing that could bring it closer sooner, and then I could fine touch part of the creative process, that would be great. That'd be exceptional. Um, Real quickly, hold on, let me see my notes here. One of the things I think that's just interesting, I wanted to call out to our audience and to B2B Rocks people is I think the founders of Teads, which was really successful, I think you guys were, Teads was sold to Rakuten. Is that correct?
Almost. It was sold to Altis. It's
Altis.
the company behind the telco company Esifer and the TV company BFM TV.
Well,
It's,
I
uh,
think, I don't know why I thought
it's
Rakuten. I think I
with
was thinking,
Patrick Drahi.
okay.
Rakuten, it's with a Price Minister.
Price Minister, okay. But my point being is that I think the other founders, as well as Teads, have created startups as well, haven't they? Haven't there been several startups from the founders?
My former co-founder of TIDS, Louis Soubéran, founded Swile,
Right.
well known in France.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's one of the great things about once a startup does well is that the founders and other people on the team typically go off and do their go and start their own startups, and it kind of creates an ecosystem. Where are you based? Where is Aive based currently?
We are based mainly in Paris. Most of our team are there, and so we have some people working in full remote. We have some people in Montpellier, but main of the team is in Paris. It's Paris based.
And as far as your financing, how's the company financing, or where's your what stage of your development are you at?
Yeah, we were backed by business angels. So we did two rounds of with a business angel on 2019 and 2022, and so
Hmm.
we have really a lot of great business angels.
Hmm.
We have a great experience in business. Like for example, you have Renaud Visage, co-founder of Eventbrite. We have Pauline Duval, one of the most active woman business angel for startup. We have the co-founder of Hugging Face, the co-founder of Talents, Talents of uh, the guys from Stupefix acquired by GoPro. We have Jérôme Pessanti, the former VP AI of Meta. Many people from many director and president of creative and media agencies. So really strong people. So we are backed with business angel, and it's very good for the stage of development we are, because Aive is 4 years old research and development right now,
Hmm.
and we start the commercialization really recently on beginning of this year.
Okay.
So it takes years to create strong and innovative products.
Yeah. Point. A good point. Ecosystems take a long time to build and quick to destroy. Have you? Hold on, let me give a little context here. Last week we had someone on who was talking about startup financing. It was Adrian Chatiel, and he was talking about startup financing in 2023. Have you seen a shift on your level? I don't know if you're looking for financing currently, but have you noticed a seismic shift in the market, or what's your perception of what's happening in the market?
Yeah, there is totally a shift in the financing market since the beginning of this year. It's easy to understand that it's a complicated period. It's a kind of crisis, like we
Hmm.
live on 28, like we live on 2020 with the COVID. So right now it's a new crisis. So it's a mix of many things. The war in Ukraine and Russia, the SVB Bank, the all the financial part, potential recession in US, all of this together, and with a lot of tech company and GAFAs that fire a lot of people, all this together give a bad signal to the industries. So
Hmm.
for venture capitalists, they take less risk, and they prefer to, I think, as I back, invest in companies more secure in terms of revenue traction. I can understand, but that's less capital risk. It's more investment. Uh, and on the AI part, everybody leaves the boom of ChatGPT
Hmm.
since December. And as a creative guy that are interested in deep learning and machine learning since 2016, I can tell
Hmm.
you that on 2017, I did some talk about it at this time recently, that at this period there was already a lot of very interesting generative AI for photo, audio, and video. So 6 years ago, there is some progress, but if you look at only in 6 years, the progress are good, but not totally insane. In terms of photo, there is strong evolution. Yes, that's true. In terms of music, it's better, but we were already really strong 6 years ago. And in terms of video, it's kind of the most difficult part. Uh, Kind of the most difficult part. And there was already 6 years ago a lot of cool psychedelic generative AI for video. You have a video, you put an image, and you generate some psychedelic image. So there is some progress, but it's very low. And in terms of true generation of video, you prompt generate me a video with the people working in a forest. Yes, it didn't exist years ago, because right now there is more data set. The deep learning and machine learning are more accessible for everyone. You don't have to be don't have to be a PhD in mathematics to manage it. More easily, you can use it, and the GPU are more stronger, the computer are more stronger. So all together, yeah, it makes possible uh, to make it more easy and accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Now you can have ChatGPT in your phone. Now you can use Runway directly and for free. So it's also the accessibility of the AI that creates this boom. So in the VC industries, uh, they see that AI is everywhere. They say, okay, it's just coming, it's new. No, it's not new, to be honest. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it it blur more the space than the inverse. To be clear, and so there is a period of blur thanks to the AI everywhere. But now, 6 months after, and 9 months after, it's always the same with the metaverse, Web3, etc., etc. In the next month, we will see when the dust will go down. Uh,
Yeah.
what are the true products, uh, and that what is really needed and used by customers, companies. So it's very interesting, because that kind of crisis and blur time, everybody is screaming about AI. It's good for the adoption of the AI space. But it's yes, it's a complex time. But as an entrepreneur, with my co-founder, we learn to drive in this kind of this situation with a clear view in the years coming, how to move without having to take care too much about this complex time. But there is always an end of it. So, but globally, it's positive, I can say.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you've been working on AI, or had, been focused on this for the last 5 years, and then in the last 3 months, it's become such a hot buzzword, and of course, that's probably advantageous to you, but that's also in a way, it's kind of one of the problems in technology is that we tend to get really attached to these buzzwords, whether it's Web3 or AI or quantum computing or what have you, and that people focus on that. And I remember years ago, people just would ask me like, it was a completely different industry, but like, do you do Java? And the point was that then is like, you only do it if it does something for you. So it was a completely, but it's just kind of buzzword marketing. That's a, just aspect of that. Um, Sorry about that rambling section there. I had a real quick question for you, Olivier. I think you've done part of your schooling in the U.S. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, yes and no. I will tell you. I tell you exactly. I did my school in France, but
Mm-hmm.
in between my second startup, TID and Aive, I take
Mm-hmm.
some lessons from the MIT Sloan. It's the way to have studies as a in a remote.
Mm-hmm.
So I did studies in artificial intelligence for business, etc. With the MIT. So yes, I did some studies in US, but just it.
Okay, so so basically, MIT Sloan Distance Learning Program.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
Oh, did I hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, on 2017, I was really passionate about AI. I read
Mm-hmm.
news about it daily, like
Mm-hmm.
people are reading news of AI today, but
Mm-hmm.
as before. And the situation was okay. I will 5 years ago. I will leave the company I co-founded, TIDS, in order to launch a new, very ambitious company, Aive, my today company. So for it, I tell myself, okay, I have to be everything needed to be very strong in the mindset and in the knowledge. So there is two things I wanted to learn in the year before launching Aive. Was
Mm-hmm.
first, I want a global view about AI. So I talk with many people around me, friends that are engineers and working in artificial intelligence. So it's from a friend, Religion, which is investor at Aive, really smart woman in mathematics, artificial intelligence, startup investor, and she's also entrepreneur. So years ago, we talk together, and she tell me, okay, yeah, there is MIT, they have a great program about artificial intelligence. It will be great for you. So it's very important to talk with friends, with everybody about the idea, because it's not the idea the most important, it's the execution. So it was talking with people. And there is another very funny anecdote was that when I prepare myself to launch Aive, I'm not an engineer, but for me, to create a project in artificial intelligence, I thought that it would be very important to have the knowledge, the basic knowledge of engineering. So when I just left TIDS, I met a guy, creative marketing guy like me, and say, "Oh, we just take a coffee in Paris and say, I just did an amazing match with a company called Le Wagon. So they learn to you how to be an engineer, how to code in 3 months. And it tell me it changed my life. It opened my mind definitely, and to move forward on technology project. So it was very exciting for me. So in the night, I subscribed directly to join Le Wagon for this program. To join this program. So in 3 months, you work with 40 engineers. You learn front end, back end, and data and database, and you create a website alone, so a dynamic website, and you learn to work as a team also.
Mm-hmm.
So for the release, etc. Very interesting, but the day before starting Le Wagon, for me, my personal goal wasn't to code Aive because there is a really good engineers for it. My goal was to just open my mind and live like an engineer for few months. and know them better, because at Aive right now we are mostly engineers, and it's
Hmm.
better to understand how they think, how they work, and this in this way together we are able to work better.
That's an incredible story. How old were you when you did that?
When I'm
Old. When you did that process, when you kind
oh
of
yeah
went
yeah
and learned about
yeah
programming and AI.
yeah it was I meet this guy Guillaume, the co-founder of Miro, a great company in photo marketplace, on January 2018, and
Hmm.
I start and hold the batch 145 of Le Wagon on March, so
Yeah.
3 months after.
No, but how old were you?
Oh, sorry,
Quel
sorry.
âge?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. I'm not English native.
it's okay.
I'm 42, and
So you were 2017, let's say about 5 years ago. So you were like 37.
yes, that's it.
Okay.
And I launched my first company. I was 22.
That's a brilliant story. One thing I latched onto when you were talking is you said it's not the idea, but the action that is important.
Yeah,
And I think for anybody that works in technology or SaaS or wants to be an entrepreneur someday, that's a phrase that you really need to hold close to you. And also, my son, who's in the other room, I want him to hear that. It's not the idea; it's the action. It's a very important idea.
definitely.
Uh, some of the other areas I just saw that I think Zapier, which is a great tool that I've loved in the past, is adding AI. So you'll be able to use AI to create plugins for the different automations you want to create. I think the avenues to improve productivity and build better solutions, better mousetraps is just incredible. Um, do you find yourself walking around looking at things and saying AI can do that, AI can do that? Could
Uh,
help with that?
you mean if we look around with other solution, what they can do, like one you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Uh, we are really passionate about what we create at Aive for Machine Do. So of course we look about all the space, all the current solution, give
Mhm.
us ideas. We see strong and really smart solution around us, and there is space for everyone. So it's a goal. It's a thing about, do you create an only one solution that creates very good result for everything, or you are very specialized in a niche. So that's why you can't be perfect on everywhere. That's
Yeah.
not our goal. But yeah, we look continuously what are the new solution, mostly right now, because there is with the generative AI API, a lot of people that creating ideas, uh, trying to do new companies, the video industry. So it's very interesting. So yes, we look really crazy about it.
That's great. Um, Listen, here's the question. We go to a couple quick questions. I, so do you have a quick anecdote about your career? A quick story you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, I already give you some anecdote. My careers. Uh, I can tell you, yeah, a funny one. How I start my first company. Uh, I was 22. Um, uh, we were in 20, year 22 also. And I just start my school, business school,
Mm-hmm.
school in the south of France, Montpellier. And the first week of the beginning of the school, there was an opportunity to create to join a company competition, a Croatian company competition. At this time, we didn't talk about startup. It was a Croatian company competition. So at this moment, say, okay, that's very good for me. I have some ideas. I want to enroll for this contest, and so uh, my idea was to create the first free and legal music platform where you can download your music for free after watching a video ad. Just have to imagine it was 21 years ago.
Okay.
Spotify didn't exist. MySpace didn't arrive in France, etc. So I win the competition, and for me it wasn't a fiction. So I say to my school, okay, bye bye. I left school and I create my own company, and they didn't like it. But we find an arrangement. Uh, I create on the day my company, and on the night I prepare the exams. And I do the both. So I work 2 times more than people creating company and doing the exam. And at the end it works. It was fine. I get the diploma. But yeah, it was an anecdote. So I left. I almost never been at school, and also I never work uh, um, in a company that's not mine. And also for my first company, I never had a salary for the first 7 years. So just have to
Okay.
in mind that when you are young entrepreneurs, you give everything, and the startup is long, the story is long, and sometimes can be on a long marathon, a long sprint mixed to marathon on years before to start to get paid. So yes, entrepreneur is very tough.
Okay, yeah, I think that's interesting. Being at a startup, if you go to create a startup, maybe eating ramen noodles for 7 years, and you're gonna have to have irrational belief in yourself. Definitely. Second question: what would you like to change or improve in our industry?
To be clear, what I will change with Aive is that for creative people, they will have a new AI power that will expand their creativity, and so they will be able to be more focused on the true value of work. And for non-creative people, they will be able not to be creative guys, not but to be able to take in hand, manipulate, edit video at least, because uh, video is everywhere. Everybody love video, so it was very sad that right now you still have to be savvy in Premiere Pro and After Effects in order to edit it. So give the power of creativity to everyone. So that's it.
Right. Um, what do you think our industry, the SaaS industry, can you describe it in 3 words? What are the 3 words you associate with it?
For me, SaaS industry or mostly a SaaS startup is a killer product, great experience, scalable.
Killer products, good. And last one, since you're creative, this should be a good one. What's your favorite rock song?
Yeah, I really like the music. For me, my favorite rock song is Siberian Breaks from MGMT because it's really crazy 12 minutes music. It's like rock and roll symphony. So it's from the second album. So it's a song that I heard hundreds time. I really like it.
Can you repeat the title? I'm going to look it up after this.
Yeah, it's Siberian Bricks from MGMT. I put it as a comment. Uh,
Okay, that'd be great. There's someone here who had a comment. He said, you think new startups might choose not to move towards a scale up because of AI and more automation?" It's an interesting question. And then they followed up. I asked for a little precision, and they said, since AI and automations are getting more and more flexible and efficient, it seems on the surface scaling a company might not be as beneficial as before compared to the risk taken by hiring massively. I have my answer to this, but people want yours.
uh, yeah, at this point, I'm reading the comment. Uh, it's a global topic, so about the hiring the hiring and the people that will the risk of people, the risk of jobs of people regarding the AI. It really depending the kind of industries, but for as I said, for really strong creative industries, we will only always need people, so the risk will be low. AI, generative AI, will be always used as a copilot, superpower tool to do more quickly, and so it will replace, yeah, repetitive jobs. There is a lot in this way. So I
Uh,
don't know if it's exactly what is weighted for this question, but for the video, it's very complex to, I think, it will be never replaced by robots. But in some other creative workflow and process, yes, there is some jobs that have to be replaced by AI, and creative will be happy.
I just know at my work, when it comes to processing video and producing different formats, that's typically going to be lower end work. So that's going to be an intern or someone low end of the totem pole. And they're not learning any new skills either. So we would rather shift those resources to things that create more value for the company and automate that process. And so I don't think necessarily that we would delete a position. I think we would just use our resources differently. So I think you were talking about SaaS being customer experience, killer product, and scalability. Yeah, absolutely. And I think more and more when people talk about product marketing, part of that product marketing is having great people and great processes and a great philosophy. And those are things I consider creative and really need top marketing people and people that spend a lot of time interacting with the customer and doing FaceTime with the customer. So I don't think it changes how we hire. I think it just changes how we use resources. And to Swen out there who asked the question, thank you. Um, and so hopefully that answers. And I think recently there's been a lot of layoffs, and I think part of it has to do with kind of like with COVID, there was a hiring up quite a bit, and now kind of the wind's gone out of the sails, plus all these other factors that Olivier recognized as well. Well, listen, Olivier, thank you so much. I really recommend to people out there, if you're doing anything in video, you go check out Aive. It's pretty cool. They have a great little video that explains it in just a few minutes. And of course, like so many things, I think there's kind of like a freemium, you can try it model a little bit, and it is live. Is that correct, Olivier?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You can test our freedom offer on Aive.com, and
Mm-hmm.
on next month, Aive will be available for creators. We have online offers for everyone. Right now, it's for enterprise, and this summer it will be for creators.
Right.
Keep it on.
And B2B Rocks gets a special discount. Um, Listen, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Oh, it's so interesting to talk with our guests. Um, uh, Hold on here. Let me a little transition out. Interesting. So, it's interesting looking at this company. It's really a smart idea. I mean, video work is just so tedious and time consuming, and then when you finish your video and you have to export it, it takes forever. Gosh, it'd be so nice to move past all that. As part of this research, a little bit of research when I went to look at Aive, and I knew I was going to talking about with Olivier this week. Um, I went and did just a little bit of reading on AI in general. And I thought this was really interesting. Let me see if I can get my screen over here. I can't show my whole screen. Anyhow, let me just read through some of these titles here. So, how could AI destroy humanity? Can a chatbot preach a good sermon? So, applications. So, maybe causing the death of humanity. I don't know. We humans might be doing a pretty good job of that. I'm not sure we need any help. Can a chatbot preach a good sermon? AI technology is being used in eyelashes. What happens when AI enters the concert hall? I don't know about you, but music brings out emotions in me. It'll be interesting to see if AI can make me cry. And then the AI revolution will change work, but nobody agrees how. And that's really interesting thought because I think it is going to change work. It's changed how I worked already. I know at our company, we did a tech workshop on AI, ChatGPT, how you can use it, and are already looking at that and looking to integrate that. So, this old mantra in technology, only the paranoid survive. And clear that's the case. Unfortunately, it's taking more and more time because the changes keep happening faster and faster. You got to be paranoid and you have to be increasingly nimble and agile as well. But today I was looking at Zapier. So, creating a plugin with Zapier is great for automating things. All startups need to be able to do this and automate stuff. Great idea. And now you can use ChatGPT to help you write part of the code, a plugin. They have publicly disclosed APIs. Guess what? ChatGPT and OpenAI will help you write the code for that. So I think AI is going to change our industry dramatically because nobody is more aggressive than the SaaS industry about adopting new technology to create a better experience for the customer, create better products, to unlock the potential of their people. So I guess when I'm excited to see AI's, how it's going to affect lots of industries, I think it's going to be especially interesting to see how it affects the tech industry on the short term. I think this is going to be happen sooner than later. I'd love to hear somebody's opinion on how dangerous this is, an expert of that sort. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's interesting because this concept is a danger. We also see this applied to lots of other things related to technology. So quantum computing, for example, is going to make much of the encryption we use meaningless. It's literally quantum can crack it in fractional seconds. So there will be no safe communication with quantum computing unless it's quantum encrypted. And at which point we just kind of chase ourselves down a giant rat hole. So I thought this could kind of interest some of the headlines. There's another headline too. Hold off from having kids because of AI. So I don't know, Mo. Fortunately, I already have kids. But interesting to hear from him on this. So, yeah, I don't know. Faces many threats from AI. Will AI lead to our extinction? How does tech affect humanity? I don't know. I'll see. Is this just clickbait? How much is this truth? How much should be worried about? I mean, I've read counter people positioning where saying a lot of companies in technology were saying, we should put a moratorium on AI and these things. It's because their AI products aren't ready. And so that there's a greater macro positioning happening around AI. I really don't know. I don't have an opinion. I'd like to just talk about another tool that I use that's AI inspired and machine language and Grammarly. Incredible for writing. I really suggest this especially to people who are non-native English speakers. If you're writing, please use at a minimum a tool like Grammarly. Same thing for things like DeepL for translation. It translates for context using as Olivia was saying, the data sets are so large now. And machine learning and AI is so good at looking at these data sets and starting to make inferences now from this, that computer translation used to be limited to word-to-word translation, where so much was lost. It was just painful to read. And now with things like DeepL, go to their website. If you don't know it, you probably do, but DeepL translate the world's most accurate translation. Plus it's like 31 languages. This is great. So you can automate production of your videos. and then depot your text into whatever languages you're working in. So there's so many great tools coming on there. Another article, this one was in French. It said, basically this, if I translate the title, it says, with artificial intelligence, I think my job is going to disappear. It's funny because I grew up with that concept. I was a kid in the 80s, and they said all our jobs would move to Japan, and then they said all our jobs would move to China, and then at the same time they said technology would take all our jobs. And we've integrated Japan and China into the world economies, and we'll have some jobs. They're still eking out, and we have a developing tech thing here. And here was one of the best articles I found, which was from Tableau. And they just outline AI, just generally. And this article looks like it almost could have been written by ChatGPT. I wonder. There should be a declaration here at the end. But it says, I think the benefits of AI are so clear to me. There's huge benefits. I mean, we know that AI is already looking at X-rays, is doing a far better job than doctors identifying cancer. Need a more concrete application than that. So there's just huge benefits to this. And then at the time they say, well, there might be some downside to this as well. Hard to know. Again, I'm not an expert on AI. I don't really know. But I think our guest today, Oliver Reynaud, was really interesting. I really appreciate everything he has to say. I think the 3 takeaways we can have up here is AI is everywhere. It's really powerful. And yeah, it's probably potentially dangerous. We'll have to see how that works out. I invite you all to come meet with people like Olivier on September 19th at B2B Rocks and Station F in Paris. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to have, of course, Aive there and lots of other companies. There'll be lots of startups there, lots of investors there, and lots of bigger companies as well. And I really look forward to next week's talk. We're going to talk about how companies, startups, scale-ups are increasingly from day one planning to go global. I think I said global. So hopefully you'll get a chance to check in next week. Sven, Ao, thank you so much for your question. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Again, next week, think global from day one. Build your company right. I think this should be increasingly possible with AI. You can do video, you can do content in all different languages. And the date, I made a mistake. Didn't change that. It should be 20th. Make the change on the fly here. So June 20th. So please check in with us. Should be an interesting conversation. And everybody, you have a great day.